everyone, it's Mary with Mary's Stampin' Cafe. First off, thank you so much for stopping in at my Saturday stamping recorded and uploaded video. Give me a like if you would. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe because I've got fabulous, wonderful techniques, classes, and great giveaways and other things for all of my subscribers, and I just love having you as part of my Stampin' Cafe team. It is getting close to that time. We are winding down the September to December mini catalog and jumping into the best time of the year. It is the January to April mini catalog and celebration rewards. Shop, host, and join. Always is a Stampin' Up! Motto during January and February, and very soon I will have a blog to help you know how could you go about earning all of the fabulous free products, and there are so many. I love taking a look at what is in here, what coordinates with the mini catalog, and how do you maximize the money that you're spending. So exciting. But enough of that. We are going to get into a fabulous card today. Everyday Details bundle is one of the bundles coming into the January to April mini. I just love this natural layout of this stamp set. Beautiful. You get to tell someone you love great things, and we have the Everyday Details dies that go along. I have to open them up to show you. Beautifully dotted circles, rectangles, and some fun embellishing dies here with them here. So we're going to utilize those today. And notice we have two dies, the littlest circle and the littlest rectangle. Don't have the cutout circles, they just have an embossed circle edge. Very, very nice. I think you cannot get enough of the circles, rectangles, all of those layering dies that offer such great variety. The other product that I'm sharing with you is these beautiful detailed cards and envelopes. We've got beautifully gold foiled card base and then the lacy edged envelope. Such a beautiful package. You get 10 cards and envelopes in this, and the cards are double of the design. That means the front of the card and the back of the card has the images. So of course I love that. Easy, easy peasy. But the other thing I like to do whenever I have something like that is I like to take the card, and I would like to get 2 for 1. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right at the score line, which is at 4 1/4. Then these are the same layer that would be a front of a card, because the cards are 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 once they're folded in half. So I'm going to be taking off 1/4 from the side and the top or bottom. So I want you to notice here that the patterns on the cards are not the same. You have much more of the open flowers on this side of the card, and then a bunch of the littler flowers on this part of the card. So whether that was our front and our back, now you have 2 fronts as a layer. So I'm going to take a look here about where do I want to cut, and I don't want to chop anything off this side, so I'm just going to come here and go at 4 right here. And then I'm going to come to the bottom and go to the 5 1/4. That would be my basic first layer on top of a base of a card. Now I've done that for this one. Let's go ahead and do the same for this one. Now as I look at this, I'm actually going to turn it over upside down, and I'm going to then go that 4 and then 5 1/4. And I'm going to look at that again, and I want to decide if I'm going to cut from top or bottom. And I'm going to go from the bottom. So 5 1/4. So there we go. Now you have 2 layers for 2 card bases. Now, wait a minute. Weren't those card bases? Well, yes, they were. But I'm going to be making cards having Old Olive as a base. So let me just bring this in. I already have it ready to go, and I'm going to set these aside for future cards. So when I open up here, I've got that layer that we just talked about how to get, and I happen to have the large open flowers in this particular design. Then I have a piece of basic vanilla for the inside of the card. Since the cards and envelopes are vanilla base, and I have the largest Everyday Details die, circle die, already done here in the basic vanilla. And I'm using the thick basic vanilla. And then I have the base of my card, which is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to fold at 4.25. There we are. Perfect. Now, Old Olive and Very Vanilla really get along with each other. It is a match so well. The Old Olive just really shows off with Very Vanilla. So I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to bring in Balmy Blue and a blending brush, and I am going to ink up. Now, I'm not going to see right here in the center because my circle is going to be covering, so I don't have to go off to the side. I'm just going to start right here and work my way out. There we go, and I'm going to start working out. And this is going to get larger and larger because I want it to peek out from the circle that I'm creating. But I also want to keep it not in the center. I don't like to necessarily center my focal point. I like to have it off, whether it's under or below the center line or above the center line. Another thing you can do here, instead of sponging, if you wanted to take some of your markers, like your Stampin' Blends, you could color some of your flowers with different colors if you wanted to do kind of a background look. So then I'm going to bring that circle back in just to see. And as you can see, I don't see much poking out of that Balmy Blue, so I want to come out farther with it so it does come out a bit more. So again, in the center, and then I'll come out. So that center part's going to be darkest, and I won't be seeing that. There we go. I should have a good area now for that circle. And there we go. Got that beautiful blue coming out. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to close this up. And then I'm going to bring out two colors, Old Olive and Pecan Pie. This card is going to be very natural in colors, and you hear that banging? I actually am working on my surface. This is the Stampin' Up! Glass Mat Studio. This Glass Mat Studio is going to be one of the joining promotions for January and February of people interested in joining Stampin' Up! It's a beautiful 12 by, it's bigger than that. I think it's about 13. It's probably an 18 by 15 board. It is solid, it's glass. It's got a beautiful grid system. It does have feet and these beautiful corners. You also have this wonderful chamois that's used to wipe up anything you get on your glass mat. And then you also have like a silicone mat tray that will go right onto your board just like so, and it will not move. So you can clean your blending brush on here if you wanted to. You could pour re-inkers on here and pick them up with your aqua painters. It's a place to keep all of those things here. You could have embellishments, loose embellishments that you pour into here and pull for your projects. This is a fabulous, fabulous $60 value that you can get free when you join Stampin' Up! January and February, but I am digressing here. I will have a blog that outlines all of that coming soon. And let's get back to the card. So that's going to sit just like that. Notice how I have it off-centered a little bit. I feel like I could even have the blue coming off here a little bit more, and I think I'll do that. have coming off here because it's really coming off over here as well. Now let me grab that little chamois because I might have a little bit of blue on my glass mat. So let's make sure that's cleaned off. There we go. Okay, now pecan pie, pecan pie, depending upon where you are. I'm going to use the beautiful Nest. You know, after our winter months, which we're just getting into, we'll have our beautiful spring. And I absolutely love birds. I love birds. I love owls. Absolutely love them. So anytime there's anything with birds, I'm there. I am hooked. All right, I'm going to bring you down just a little bit closer so we can color this beautiful little thing. So I have a mix of Stampin' Write markers and Stampin' Blends. And what I'm going to do is bring the crumb cake. It's the light crumb cake. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the nest a bit. I feel like the nest, just when you stamp it, you would have a bit of like mud or things like that that the bird uses. And so it would be a little bit deeper and darker. So just using that crumb cake blend. And notice the blends don't affect at all the classic ink pad that I used. And I think it's because it's an alcohol-based marker. It just dries so quickly that it doesn't allow any type of bleeding to happen, which is fabulous. Love it. All right, then I have Balmy Blue. I've got dark Balmy Blue. And I'm going to come right in here where the artists of Stampin' Up! Have already put in those shady marks where the egg would be a little bit darker, how it's sitting in the nest and the way that the light is coming in. So then I'll grab the light and I'll just now come around and color in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the outside and then come in and lighten up my hand a little bit because I want the egg to have a bit of almost like a speckled look to it. And the one that's right here, we'd want it to have a little bit of lighter spots in the center. So I'm not even going to cover that center one and see how that goes there. I'm going to come back in with the dark again, deepen that up. Even a little more right here. Whoop. I think I got into the nest. That's okay. It's reflecting. And I'll go ahead and go over the eggs again. On this one, though, again, I'm not going to come all the way. And if I do, I'm just going to give it a light so it can have a little speckle of light color there. I can also grab my color lifter and do that too. Now what I'm going to do is bring in my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to come to those new leaves. Those leaves that have just blossomed. The smaller little ones are going to be in that little bit more of a Granny Apple Green, a more spring color. And then I'll go ahead and fill the rest in with Old Olive. Old Olive being a much deeper, earthier green. And Stampin' Write markers can be quite intense in the colors, giving it that really true color. And so you just get the little difference of the greens. There we are. So beautiful, just beautiful. The other thing I could do if I wanted, I could sponge around here, but I'm not going to. I think the blue here is going to do much better. So let me just back up just a little bit more so I can, there we are. Okay, so now I have the beautiful, beautiful pecan pie edged ribbon. It is so pretty. The edges are very silky, and then the center's like that woven natural twine. Not twine, but you know what I mean. Linen, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to do kind of a long piece here. Measuring wise, oh, I don't know. Oh, look, my mat. I can use my mat for my measuring. That is about 10 inches long. It's going to be longer than I need, or maybe not. We shall see. It's going to just lay to give a little bit more texture to the card and a little contrast between that blue and then the circle. And I'm going to have it kind of come just like that. You can easily adhere this down with just a little of the seal. And I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. That's a little bit too big of a loop there, so I don't want it to be so open. But the circle is going to really help with that. And so remember, I'm having it come down a little bit. And that's going to be perfect. So that 10 inches was really what I wanted. So now the other thing I'm going to do is put dimensionals on here. Now, if you haven't seen the foam sheets that Stampin' Up! Sells, I actually have them over on my work table that's with another project. You wouldn't have to sit here and take all your dimensionals off. You could take, it's a full sheet that looks just like this, and you could just simply cut a square, put it on the back of this, and then you would be sure for it to stay, as well as for none of the parts of the circle to squish down or sink in the center. Plus, when we're using this, make sure that stays down with the tape that I put down. It wants to come up a little bit. But now I put all of my dimensionals around because I don't want just dimensionals on the ribbon. We wouldn't want that because it wouldn't hold very well. There we go. Now my ribbon is too long down here, but not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and trim, and my ribbon scissors are not doing very well today. Might have to sharpen up my scissors and my ribbon scissors. And I actually think I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to leave it nice and long. All right. Let's bring in our card base. Oh, you know what I did? I didn't stamp my hello. Oh, well, we are going to do something I do not recommend you do. But when you have forgotten a step and you've already mounted something, think about where you might be able to do it. So I have the hello. I'm going to stamp it on this yellow, and this will be my back side. I just want to make sure it's going to stamp well. I just recently re-inked my stamp. I'm going to do it right here, and hopefully I will get the whole hello. Ah, I did. I got the full hello. There it is. Now I see I didn't quite get the E all the way. That's an easy fix. You just take your Stampin' Right marker with the old olive, and I'm going to use the pen part, and I'm just going to come over and clean up that E, and it's like it never happened. Perfect. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip this over now, and the other sentiment is from the stamp set, and this hello is not in the stamp set, but it is in the Gorgeously Made stamp set right here, and that's what I decided to use. I just wanted a small sentiment in the front, and now I'm using this one, wishing you so much joy on this special day. It could be for an anniversary, it could be for a birthday, it could be for a retirement, any occasion. We'll go ahead and stamp that. And then we're not done because I love to bring what's on the front of the card back to the inside of the card. I'm going to stamp the nest again, but I'm only going to stamp part of it. So I'm just going to come right over. Going to come off the edge a bit and just stamp. And then when I pull it off, I've got that beautiful nest. Let me grab my chamois. There we go. And then I can come back in with my colors to fill in a little bit. I'll go with the crumb cake first. Fill in like that. So Celebration is January and February, so you can earn a level 1 free item in the United States with a $50 purchase before shipping and tax. And then with a $100 purchase, you can choose a level 2 or 2 level 1s. Bunch of fun. There's also specials for hosting, extra dollars when you host. There's also then the joining specials, which is always extra. There's 2 options for joining. And I'll have that all outlined in my blog in about, well, probably in about another week with my blog. We got to finish our holidays before we get into all that thinking, huh? Right now it is a pre-order time for demonstrators, so we were able to purchase any of the items from the January to April mini, and then we also earned Celebration, so that's fantastic. All right, well, that's our inside. It's so beautiful. So let's bring that card back in. We'll go ahead and put the inside with our little hello peeking out at us. I always like to do that. I just test things out on the back of the actual cardstock to check for color. So that is a beautiful inside of the card. We're now ready to put the front down, and then we're going to do a little embellishing. Now, because I was keeping this, oop, just ran out. That's no problem. I've got my liquid glue here. So I'm keeping this card very natural, just bringing in the blue for the eggs. And balmy blue and old olive is another combination with the very vanilla that is just, ooh, so nice. And then using the pecan pie ribbon there. We also have the new adhesive-backed corks embellishment, which is a lot of fun. They just give a lot of great texture. And that's what's perfect for this card. Going to put a couple right there. And then I'm going to bring the other one down here. And I'm doing that because I've put my sentiment here, and so now those embellishments can then continue it on down this way. So just beautiful. Well, that is it today. I hope you enjoyed my card. Like I said, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, be sure to check out the links below for my blog as well as my Facebook group, my Facebook page. I do every Wednesday Facebook Live at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So please join me there. We have a lot of fun. I usually do 2 or 3 cards, and then the first Wednesday of the month is prize drawing. And join me for my Mary's Merry Monday of card making and giveaways on YouTube for the next couple of Mondays still in December. Join me over there. I'll have a link down for that as well. And there we are. Until next time, happy stampin'.